Hey all, it's Halloweeny time again, and if you've seen any of my previous videos, you know that I not only love the night, but I also love making DIY decorations for it. Now I know I have done this video before, but I had a few comments saying that it was a little too fast and that they couldn't keep up. So as promised, here is a slower version with written instructions on the bottom how to make these cute little skull garland hanging thingies. Now with my 4.5mm hook, it worked out at about 8 inches, but I wanted mine quite tight, so I did it with my 3mm. I think, I don't know the numbers on this one, wore off a long time ago, and this worked out at about 6 inches. Now we will be working in single crochets, half double crochets, double crochets, slip stitches, all in American terms. Please feel free to pause it as you go along. Sorry if you guys had a hard time with the last one. It was just a recap for my crochet video, so I'm just using a normal DK weight yarn, and as I said, my 3mm hook. Now I'll try go through this as slowly as possible. Fingers crossed this one helps you guys. Okay, to start this project we need a magic circle to work into, so you can either just start with your slip knot on the hook, chain 4, and then slip stitch into that first chain. So that's into that first chain, yarn over, pull through everything to make a little circle to work into. However, I find it gives a much neater finish. So from here you would start with your chain 3 and then in through that circle, working around your tail so that you can pull it tight at the end. However, like I said, I find it a lot neater to do a magic circle. So with our tail end here, wrap that around our 3 fingers, wrap it over the tail end, and using your pinky to hold it in firm at the back, put your hook under, pull that working yarn through and twist to secure it. And then holding your tail tight so it doesn't come loose, and that base, we're then going to chain 3, which counts as our first double crochet. These are American terms. We're then going to do another double crochet into that loop, so that's yarn over, into that loop, yarn over, pull through, 3 on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. And that counts as our first 2 double crochets. We're now making a shell, so to do that we're going to chain 1 and then back into that loop, yarn over at the back, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2 again, and then we're going to do another double crochet back. So we now have 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. We're then going to chain 2 and repeat that shell. Now this pattern is going to repeat on either side of the skull. So another 2 double crochets, yarn over into the loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, and another one. And then chain 1 and another 2 double crochets in through that loop. 1 and 2. So this is our foundation row and row 1. We're then going to pull that thread, we'll darn that in at the end, and now onto row 2. Again, we're going to be repeating the either side throughout the pattern. So we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and then into that last double crochet we did, we're going to slip stitch. So in through the first stitch, yarn over and pull through, and pull through the one on your hook. Oh, that's quite tight. And then into that next one, same thing. Ooh, should have used the bigger hook, this is quite tight. Yarn over and pull through everything. And same again, because we want to be working in that chain one space. So in through the chain space, yarn over and pull through. And we're now working in the middle of that first shell. So we're now going to chain 3, and we're repeating our shell now. So we'll do 1 double crochet as that chain 3 counts as our first, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets into that chain 1 space. 1 and 2. Okay, we now want to create the foundation for our bottom lip. So we're going to chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Skip that chain 2 space and work directly into the chain 1 space of that end shell. So, lost my yarn over. 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets. And that's the end of row 2, and we've created the foundation for his lip. We now want to make his bottom lip, so we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and repeat what we did on the other side. So in through that first stitch with a slip stitch, in through that second double crochet, with a slip stitch, and then again slip stitch into that chain 1 space. So 3 slip stitches. Again, we're going to do our shell, so we're going to chain 3, count as our first double crochet, into that chain 1 space, it's 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets to complete our shell. Now to do his bottom lip, we want to chain 3. Now again, this chain 3 is going to be a repeating pattern. Okay. And now working around that chain 7 space, we're going to do 7 double crochets. So underneath that chain 7, and 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then we've done his bottom lip. We're then going to chain 3, and again into that chain 1 space of that end shell, 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets. And now you can see that that shell pattern is going to repeat all the way around as a border to our actual skull. We're going to chain 1, turn our work, slip stitch into the first, slip stitch into the second, and slip stitch into the chain 1 space, chain 3, do our shell, 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, and 2 double crochets, and that's our shell. We now want to do the foundation for his top lip, So we're going to chain 3, then into the first of those double crochets, we're going to do a single crochet, then chain 7, 2, 3, 6 and 7, and then into that last double crochet we're going to single crochet, and then chain 3, and into that shell we're going to do 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, chain 1 and 2 double crochets. And that's the foundation for his top lip. Okay. So for row 5, chain 1, turn your work, slip stitch into the first stitch, slip stitch into the second stitch, slip stitch into the chain 1 space, and shell, chain 3, 1 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochets, sorry, 1 and 2. Okay, now for his top lip, we're going to chain 3, and where we single crocheted in the previous row, we're going to single crochet into that single crochet. Ooh. Then around his top lip, around his top lip, this chain 7, we're going to do 7 more single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and then into that other single crochet we'll do 1 more single crochet. So we now have 9 across for his top lip, 7 in the middle and 1 on each end. Then to finish row 5 we're going to chain 3, and then into that chain 1 space 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 more double crochets. Row 6 he needs a nose, so we're going to chain 1, turn our work, slip stitch into the first stitch, slip stitch into the second, slip stitch into that center, that chain 1 space, chain 3, 1 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochets. We're then going to chain 3. Remember we have 9 here now, so in that first single crochet do 1 single crochet, then 2 more, so 3 single crochets in the first 3 stitches. We're then going to double crochet in the 4th, chain 1, skip the 5th and into the 6th, double crochet, and then 7, 8 and 9, 3 more single crochets. 1, 2 and 3. So now he has a little nose and a proper top lip. Now chain 3 and into that shell, 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets. So row number 6 is his nose hole. For row number 7, chain 1, turn your work, slip stitch into the first one, slip stitch into the second, and slip stitch into that chain 1 space, chain 3, 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 2 double crochets. That's our shell. Then going to chain 3, and into that first single crochet we're going to do a half double. So we're going to yarn over, in through the hole, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on our hook. We're then going to chain 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and into his nose hole, that chain 1 space, we're going to do a single crochet. We're then going to chain 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and into that last single crochet we're going to do another half. So yarn over, into the single crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3 on your hook. Mine's a bit tight. There we go. So 1 more half double crochet. Then we're going to chain 3 and into that chain 1 space do our shell. So 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets. And now he has eye sockets. For row 8 we're going to chain 1, turn our work, slip stitch into the first one, slip stitch into the second one, attempt to slip stitch into that chain 1 space, and shell, chain 3, 1 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, into that half double we're going to do 1 single crochet. Then around his first eye socket we're going to do 7 more single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We're then going to skip straight over to the next eye socket and do 7 more single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's move him out the way. 5, 6, and 7. We're then in that last half double going to do another single crochet into that half double, and now we've got 7 and 7 is 14, 15 and 16, and chain 3 and shell into that last shell, 2 doubles, chain 1 and 2 more doubles. So row 8 is his first row of his forehead. So row 9, again, chain 1, turn our work, slip stitch into the first double, slip stitch into the second double, slip stitch into the center, chain 3, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and we're now going to be reducing his forehead from 16 to 14. So we're going to miss that first single crochet, and we're going to single crochet into the next 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Skip those center 2, so skip 1, 2, and into the third, single crochet 6 times 1, well not in that third one, so 1 in there, 1 in there, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and you should have 1 left. So that's 1 skipped at the beginning, 1 at the end, 2 in the center, so we now have 12 across. Then going to, chain 3, and shell into that shell. So 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets. Okay, so row 10, chain 1, turn your work, slip stitch, slip stitch, and slip stitch, chain 3, 1 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochets, and then chain 3. We're now reducing our forehead from 12 to 10, so we're going to skip that first one again, and then single crochet in the next 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, ooh, that's tight, 9, and 10, which should leave 1 on the end, and then chain 3, and shell in that shell. Two double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets. And that's row 10. Okay, so on to row 11. Chain 1, turn our work, slip stitch over to that center, 1, 2, and 3. Do our shell, so chain 3, 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 2 double crochets. Ooh. Okay, we're now reducing our forehead from 10 to 6. So we're going to chain 3 and skip the first 2 and into the third. We'll do 6 double crochets, single crochets, sorry. What am I saying? So that's 4, 5, and 6. So we have 2 missed on the front, on the end, and 2 missed in the beginning. Then chain 3 and 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets in that previous round shell. Okay, we're almost done. So 11 is reducing it to 6. We're going to do our final reduction on that forehead now for row 12. So we're going to chain 1, turn our work, slip stitch first, into the second, and into that center. Ooh, chain 1 space, chain 3, double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochets, we're then going to chain 3, skip that first one into the next 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4 single crochets, chain 3. So here we've got 1 skip there and 1 skip there, shell into that previous rows end shell, so 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets. Okay, so that is basically our skull complete. So now we just want to close it up like this end. So we're going to chain 1, turn our work, slip stitch into the first, slip stitch into the second, slip stitch into the chain 1 space, shell, so chain 3, 1 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochets, and now we're just going to skip straight into that other shell on the other side. So we're going to shell in there, so 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets. Now I have just finished it like this on occasion and used it as just coasters, or I did little ones as bookmarks in a thin fine cotton, but we're going to turn this into a hanging garland. So in order to add our next one, we're going to chain 1, and we're now slip stitching all the way over to the center one. So we're going to slip stitch in that first stitch, slip stitch in the second, slip stitch into the center, slip stitch into that next double crochet, slip stitch into that last double crochet, so that's 5 slip stitches, and then into that center between those 2 shells with a 6th slip stitch. Okay. And now to start our next one, we're going to work out what distance we want in between the hanging ones. And we're going to, in my case, I wanted 10. So chain 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Oh, 8, 9, and 10. Number 7 stuck in my head because of these. And we're going to build the foundation for us to start our next one down at the bottom. So I'm going to put my finger on, or my thumb on the 10th one. I'm then going to chain a further 4, 3 and 4, and into that first one of the 4 we're going to start that shell pattern from row 1 again. So we're going to do 1 double crochet into that 4th one, chain 1, 2 more double crochets into that same chain space or chain, 2. We then need to do the gap in between the 2, so we're going to chain 2 and do another shell, so right back into that same hole with 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 more double crochets. So this is round 1 again, and now we've started the foundation for our next skull. So that's this row 1 that we did, the foundation. So we then again chain 1, slip stitch to the center, do a shell, chain the 7 and shell in the end again. So feel free to rewind back to the beginning at this point and go through it again so you can complete your next one and your next one and make it exactly how long you want it. I hope this much slowed down version has helped those who are having issues with the first video. As I did say, it was just a recap for my class. See if you've got any more comments, please feel free to leave them down below. Sorry it took me a couple of days to do this updated version. I do believe it is possible to slow down the other one, but I was making some more of these for Halloween anyway, so I thought I'd just do the slow version. Also, this one does have the written instructions down below, so I hope that helped. But again, if you liked the video, feel free to comment, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again for another video soon. Bye.